From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 31st, 2025. Sirens once again sounded across central Israel yesterday after a missile was launched at the country from Yemen, presumably by the Houthis, sending Israelis running to bomb shelters and safe rooms. The IDF said Israel's Air Force intercepted one missile before it crossed into Israeli territory, and there were no injuries reported. On Saturday, the IDF said 3 mortars were fired toward IDF troops operating on the outskirts of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. In response, the IDF said it struck a mortar launch site in Khan Yunis in the area from which the rockets had been fired. The IDF also said that over the past few days in a special operation, Israeli troops located and recovered findings associated with the body of Mani Menachem Godard, who was murdered and kidnapped by Palestinian Islamic Jihad during the October 7th massacre, though his body, the IDF said, is still being held in Gaza, saying the IDF continues to make efforts to locate and fully recover his body. And in the IDF's continued operations in Gaza, it said it dismantled a 1 kilometer long, just over half a mile, of underground tunnel route belonging to terror group Hamas. IDF troops also located a workshop, it said, used for producing rockets and launchers, and have eliminated over 50 terrorists in targeted operations. The Times of Israel reported that Hamas terrorists kidnapped, tortured, and executed a 22-year-old Palestinian man in Gaza, his family saying he was killed because he took part in protests against the terror group last week. Well, several released Israeli hostages who had been held captive by terror group Hamas in Gaza after being abducted during the October 7th massacre, spoke to CBS's 60 Minutes' Leslie Stahl, sharing the horrors of what they endured. The interview aired last night and included testimony from Keith Siegel and his wife Aviva, Agam Berger, Tal Shoham, and Yarden Bibas, whose wife Shiri and 2 young children, Ariel and Kfir, were brutally murdered by Hamas in captivity in Gaza. Bibas wearing a T-shirt with the pictures of his dear friends who remain held hostage in Gaza, David and Ariel Cuneo, and together with all of the former hostages, urging the critical and immediate release of all of the hostages still being held in Gaza. And tens of thousands of people once again rallied in Tel Aviv and throughout Israel Saturday night to demand the return of the hostages, some also protesting government efforts regarding judicial reform in Israel. Those who addressed the crowd in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv included former hostages and hostage families, as well as American actor and pro-Israel activist Michael Rappaport, who said nothing matters more than bringing them home. The 59 hostages who remain captive in Gaza have now been held for 542 days. Well, a joint team of experts from the IDF and the Israeli Ministry of Defense landed in Bangkok yesterday, following the earthquake that occurred there last Friday. The delegation includes engineering and civil affairs officers from the National Rescue Unit of the Home Front Command, who the IDF said conducted a situational assessment and shared technological expertise with Thai authorities. Israel's ambassador to Thailand, Orna Sagiv, met with the Israeli delegation and with the Prime Minister of Thailand today, and said Israel stands ready to assist the Thai people and will continue the rescue efforts for as long as needed. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, March the 31st. At 7 o'clock, FIDF CEO Steve Weil speaks with American-Israeli IDF reservist Shai Bernstein, who shares reflections after completing his 3rd round of reserve duty. At 8, Abigail Pogrebin speaks with historian Jonathan Sarna about his book Lincoln and the Jews, which explores Abraham Lincoln's deep connections with American Jews, his impact on Jewish rights, and how this overlooked history offers insights for today. At 8:30, Rabbi Erez Sherman speaks with Auburn University's men's basketball coach, Bruce Pearl, who used his NCAA tournament press conference to call for the hostages' release. At 9, Jeffrey Gurok talks about the Jewish community of Harlem on L'chaim. At 10, David Harris speaks with Rabbi Amiel Hirsch. At 10:30, an encore of the news. And coming up next, it's Good Week, Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 31st, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.